Alright, hey y'all. Okay, I'm sure you recognize this building. This is the Ringgold Depot, and we're down here going to do a little bit of a haunted walking tour. We're going to start right here. I'm going to point out down off of Depot and High Street some of the more haunted locations and historical locations. And we may circle around and I'll show you the historic main part of town, the buildings, the courthouse, all that good stuff. So anyway, we're going to start right here at the depot. Y'all recognize this from my Haunted Depot lives and from my video about Thomas and Eliza. Okay, so the depot, let's go ahead and give you a little bit of a history lesson. The depot was built, I believe it was 1839, and it served as a main supply route for the Confederate Army. What? Okay, sorry, it was built in 1849. Justin just pointed that out for me. And it was a main supply route for the Confederate Army. Now, if you look up the Great Locomotive Chase, you will see that it took place. It went past the depot, up the road a little bit, and stopped. And that is where the locomotive was recaptured, up in what we call Rabbit Valley. Now, the depot still has cannon damage and bullet holes. And if you look at the buildings, you may be able to see some from the Battle of Ringgold in 1863. Now, y'all go ahead and ignore the mess. You know it is depot season. So with it being depot season, you are aware that we have the Haunted Depot decorations and signage up. So what you just saw, the two doors to the side of the depot, those went into the back offices and the ticket office. This is the front door that goes into, that would have gone into the ticket lobby when the depot was operational. It hasn't been operational for years, but that would have been the ticket office. Okay, now we've got caution tape over here, so we're going to have to go around, but I will be showing you. So the second door, where our lovely bride and groom are at, and then the door beside it, there are two doors there. Those would have been your main doors going into the terminal itself. And down there where the black box is, you will see the doors that went to the back rooms. There's another one on the side. Let's go ahead. We're going to turn around and go back around. I'm going to show you the back of the depot really quickly, just trying to give you a little bit of a gander before we get into the ghost stories, because I want to start over here at the railroad tracks with one of these stories that allegedly happened. This is now the one that I'm going to go into. Oh, and here, by the way, the bridge we came across, this is called Barger Bridge. Okay, we had a mayor that he actually recently passed away, but he was mayor for decades. Joe Barger. He was an amazing mayor. Okay, so if you look back here, you have the doors. Now, it is gated up right now, and then there's the railroad track. That's literally how close we are to the railroad track, and you've got that bay window right there. Now, keep in mind the bay window, because that is going to be a little important piece of the story here in just a little bit.
I never knew that about the old mayor. He went to North Carolina State.
Yes, he went to North Carolina State. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with the ghost stories. Okay, and you see over there the little wooden structure that was actually a disembarking point for the trains long ago. They've done some work on it, obviously, but that was one of your disembark points. But anyway, let's go ahead and go along with the train tracks. You can see going down there, they're part of the Western Atlantic Railroad. And back in the 1800s, I think it was right after the Civil War, there was a train wreck close to the depot. The conductor, his name was George, he was seriously injured in the train wreck. So they brought the survivors and those who had passed away. I think there were 4 or 5 people that actually perished in that wreck. They brought George and the others into the depot to get them treatment. And unfortunately, George succumbed to his injuries inside the depot. Now, they say that George's spirit still lingers in the depot. And if you remember, I told you to keep in mind the bay window at the back, because some of the reports are of George being seen sitting in the bay window smoking a pipe. You've heard me mention the trash cans. There's a little bit of a confusion, or well, not confusion, but speculation, who moves the trash cans. A lot of people believe it's Thomas. A lot of people believe it is George. And speaking of Thomas, let's go ahead to Thomas and Eliza. If y'all remember from my video, Thomas was a Civil War soldier, and at the end of the war, he was on his way home, and his fiancée or betrothed, Eliza, was waiting. She would have been waiting over there in the terminals, those two big doors. She was waiting for him to arrive. He never arrived, so she feared the worst, but she had no choice but to leave. She left, and she never heard from Thomas again. And she went ahead, she got married, had children, grandchildren, and then finally the story of what happened to Thomas came out. Thomas had been on the train home to Ringgold. He had caught pneumonia, and he died in his seat on the train before they pulled into the depot. So what they did was they put his body in the back rooms back there where you see the black box. I told you that's where storage is at. They put his body back there to wait to be claimed. Now understand, this is the end of the Civil War, so all records are scattered or destroyed. In fact, our town was burnt down, save for a few buildings, by Sherman in his famous March to the Sea. So Thomas's body lay back there, and nobody came to claim him. So legend has it, allegedly, that they buried him behind the depot, and there is just a plain stone marker with no engraving that is supposedly Thomas. So Eliza did live a full life. She did bring her grandchildren down here to show them the depot. Of course, the hauntings surrounding Thomas are mainly over here in the terminal and the back room, where they smell cigar smoke. People have been touched. On snowy nights, they say the lights in the depot would flicker. And, yeah, they would see him walking around, waiting around, whatever. So there's also an infamous lady in white. Now, this is an unsubstantiated claim. There is a lady in white here. But then again, everywhere has a lady in white. So if I ever am able to verify that claim, I will come back and let y'all know. But this is the depot. We can't go in it because now it is not an operational depot. And you can see our tent set there. We use the depot for weddings, concerts, different events, and of course the yearly Ringgold Haunted Depot, which we are doing tomorrow night, is our last night. You can see the face painting booth and our big old skeleton I affectionately call Fred. So yeah, that's the stories of the depot. So as you can see, there are actually 3 ghosts to the haunted train depot, and I don't mean haunted as in our production every year. I mean actually haunted. So let's go ahead. We're going to move on. This is going to be kind of a walking tour. Understand, I live in a very small Civil War town. It is a farming community, and the extent of our old town of Ringgold, and that's not counting the new stuff like Highway 151 and all that. It is very old, but it's not huge. So the town of Ringgold, after Cherokee removal during the Trail of Tears, was settled by Irish immigrants. And they set root here. The Civil War happened here. We played a pivotal role in the Civil War. A lot of it having to do with our proximity to the Chickamauga battlefield. And if you look up the Battle of Chickamauga, you will find it was the second bloodiest battle behind Gettysburg. The second. So, it's crazy. We're going to cross the street. I'm going to show you a little bit of history. That's actually cool. This isn't, there are ghosts they say are connected with it. I don't know the stories behind them, but we're going to go ahead and cross the street. Excuse the cones again. That is for depot. This is so, our people don't get hit by cars. They don't come up. Okay, so as you can see, this is one of the old buildings. And if you see that square right there, that is an old window that is bricked up. And there's another old window over there. Now, these are old buildings. And we're going to go ahead over here by the alleyway because I want to show you something very interesting behind the alleyways. Okay, so as you can see, you have a lower portion to your alleyways, and then you have an upper portion to your businesses. Okay, so back during Prohibition, this is the alleyways that Al Capone would come through on his bootlegging operations. If you know anything about Al Capone, he was actually caught up with in Atlanta and was taken back to Chicago. And if you watch my video on the Reed House, you'll see where on the way back they stopped in Chattanooga and stayed at the Reed House. And I like to think they were being little smart alecks. They put Mr. Al in the room 311, the notorious room 311, where Annalisa Netherly's ghost inhabited. So yeah, because they say Al Capone was a womanizer, so I think it is quite humorous, this story, the legend that he was put in there because of Annalisa. So yeah, go back, check out the history of Annalisa. You'll understand why this is humorous to me. Okay, this is actually new right here. If y'all remember, I went into this store during Oktoberfest. This is Book and Barrel. This is run by City Councilwoman Rhonda Swaney. And this is her little outdoor patio. But these buildings over here have been here for a very, very long time. 1800s, early 1900s. Because not long after Sherman came and burned everything down, we rebuilt. So, and of course, this is the foundation from an old building. I don't know if it's, I don't know what happened to it, to be honest. But here's Book and Barrel, and back there you have some other stores. You have the Meat Mart, and you have a,
Butcher and Deli.
Yeah, you have a Butcher's Deli, or Butcher and Deli, and you have a, home goods store, yeah. I had to think, it's like a gift shop. So anyway, this Book and Barrel is great. Now, Rhonda, if you're ever in Ringgold, Rhonda does things like different game nights and movie nights, trivia nights. She does all sorts of stuff. So she's got a lot of stuff going on there. She really, really, really does. And y'all remember this pavilion. This has been here for years, for as long as I can remember. This is the Ringgold Market Pavilion. This is what it looks like empty. Y'all saw it at Oktoberfest. But now we have no vendors over here. So, but this is the Ringgold Pavilion area. This is where people set up. We usually put stages out here, concerts. Look out, little jack-o'-lantern on the hay bale. You can tell you're in a farming community when that happens. Yeah, Fall Festival was down here. So, yeah, when you're in a farming community, you always see the hay bales. And, there's all the trash cans for the city from the Fall Festival. Yeah. This, I think, is that one of our lodges? That's an outpost, lodge outpost. That's an old building. You can tell the old buildings because the stonework, a lot of your buildings were stone. We're making our way towards Ringgold City Hall. Ringgold City Hall is a fairly new structure. It hasn't been here for a very long time because our City Hall used to be held in what we call Patriot Hall. And before Patriot Hall, it was held in the courthouse that was rebuilt after Sherman burnt the original courthouse down. So this over here is City Hall. Now, there is a ghost story that I cannot confirm on this one either, but they do tell on the ghost tour that there was a construction worker during the construction of City Hall that had an accident and met his demise in the steeple. And supposedly he haunts City Hall. Again, I cannot verify that one. I do know that this is the proposed location, or supposed, not proposed, but supposed location of Ringgold's old hanging tree where they would execute criminals. So yeah, this is City Hall. I love the way it is built. It was actually built, I believe, early 2000, late 90s, early 2000s. So
1999.
Was it 99? Okay,
Yeah,
Justin said it was.
You built it in 1999.
Okay, Justin said it was built in 1999. So there you go. So yeah, supposedly that happened. Now I don't know. Again, I can't verify nor deny, but the land over here is said to be haunted because of the fact that it was the supposed location of the hanging tree. So whether the accident with the construction worker happened or not, that's how it is. Okay, we're approaching the old mill. You can see right in front of me. This is the old feed and seed mill. And then you have your feed and seed building over here. This is an antique store now. The old feed and seed mill that we're getting closer on. Back in the early 1800s, there was a child named Emily. Now remember, back then, they didn't have strict rules and regulations around children in the workforce. In fact, they didn't even have child labor laws. And one of the children of one of the workers at the seed mill was brought to work. And she was playing. She went upstairs to the top floor. And her name was Emily. Emily goes upstairs playing to the top floor where the cylinder to the grinder was at. And somehow her ribbons and her hair got caught in the cylinder and she perished. So the mill is haunted by the ghost of little Emily. And some of the reports there, and you see it's a business right now, some of the reports there include a child's laughter. She will go up beside women, especially, and hold their hand like a child would their mom. She is also said to still play. So you hear the footsteps running up the stairs, running up on the platform. And sometimes, until it was shut down, they would say that the grinder would malfunction quite a bit. So that's the story of Emily and the feed mill.
I'm going to go to the City Hall, get the ride-along paperwork.
Okay, go ahead and go get that. And I'm going to be over here. Okay. I'm going to be over here standing at the corner talking about Whitman. Alright, so what we're doing today is we're going to go around the block. And around here, it is very, very, very easy to go around the block. It's good exercise, too. It is cold, though. I'm going to tell y'all that right now. It is freaking freezing. So, if y'all can see that brick structure in front of me, that pretty house behind the trees, that is the Whitman Anderson house. Whitman Anderson house is one of the houses that were spared by Sherman in his march to the sea because it was being used as a field hospital. So he could send his men to the field hospital to get what they need, to get their help and get treated. So the Whitman Anderson house, the ghosts that are said to occupy it is a Civil War soldier who died inside the house. He is said to occupy the grounds. The original owner, Whitman, is said to walk around waiting for news from his sister. So waiting for a letter. And then one story that I heard that everybody, I haven't heard anybody else say it, but I heard on a tour of it back when I was a kid, is that the Whitman house, Ulysses S. Grant, hang on, sorry y'all, that was a dump truck. One story I heard was that Ulysses S. Grant was staying up in the upstairs corner bedroom to my left over here, and that in the middle of the night, a Union assassin got into the room he was staying in, and he woke up when the assassin was trying to plunge a knife into his chest. Of course, a scuffle ensued, and Grant managed to get the man out on the balcony, if you can see the balcony there, out onto the balcony, push him off, and the assassin fell to the ground and landed on his own knife. So supposedly the ghost of the assassin is also here. So it is a very beautiful house. I've actually been in it. It's got a lot of the original old woodwork, the paneling. It's gorgeous. It is really gorgeous. Like, dude, I would not mind living in it. I ain't gonna lie. There's another house over here I'm not going to show you because it is a private residence that has been here for years and years and years and years and years. I believe it may date back to the time of Whitman Anderson. Now we're going to wait for Justin for just a minute because he walked in to go get a ride-along paperwork. He's wanting to do YouTube video of a ride-along with Ringgold City Police. So we're going to wait for him to come along. But see, that's our beautiful front of our city hall. See the fountain. Of course, the fountain's not going to be going right now because, well, it is cold. My dad always said colder than witch's brass bra. I made the mistake one time of asking him how cold that was. He said, ask my mother. And I about witnessed an assault. So I quit, I wasn't going to ask about that no more. I was not asking that no more. Probably one of the best ideas I've ever had. It's not to ask. I like that clock. Got a little Ringgold Town clock. And if I'm not mistaken, that clock had been at our other locations before. It was just moved here. See the cannonballs over here on the stone sign showing the Civil War history. Now, as we walk around the block, I will tell you we will be passing by the Dolly Parton mural, so you're going to see that. I've had it in videos before, but y'all know I kind of redid my YouTube, so I'm not going to have that right now. Okay, so we're walking. This is Jefferson's, y'all. This is a really, really good restaurant. I love this freaking restaurant. Jefferson's is absolutely amazing. I love them. So yeah, I can't go in, can't get nothing today, but that's fine. I was gonna stand at the corner for Justin, but Ringgold City cop there, I didn't want him to be. I'm like, oh, what are you doing? I don't know the new ones. They've got a lot of new ones out. Like, I was accustomed to all your old cops that have since retired. And then some of them have moved. I know my cousin actually went to another county. And so he's not even here anymore. I just may end up having Justin walk back and meet me at the car if he don't hurry. I love him, but he's slow. He talks. I mean, I can't say nothing because, I talk. he comes by it on us, y'all. This is actually a newer building. This isn't very old. This houses Jefferson's restaurant, which, like I said, is a really, really, really good place to eat. And we really do enjoy Jefferson's. It's almost got a sports bar and grill feel down here, which is great because it wasn't until recent years that Ringgold voted to put in alcohol by the drink, liquor by the drink. We had been a partially dry county for years. We did not have liquor sales at all. Beer, that was one thing. Liquor was another. So again, we had been a partially dry county for years, so it wasn't very long ago that all changed. See, they've got this pretty little deck to eat on. If you want to eat out here. We haven't. Okay, now over here we have Joy's Antiques, and I'll be going in there here in a little bit. And then we have the UKS United Karate Studio. This is a very old building. Now, anybody that is from Ringgold is going to know Jesse Thornton and his UKS Karate Studio. Joy is his wife. She opened the antique gift shop years ago in conjunction with UKS. My brother actually took karate with Jessie Thornton. Jessie's great. So is Joy. They are wonderful people, pillars of the community. They've been around for forever. We all remember. I don't think that we've ever had a time where, the karate studio wasn't here. A lot of us generation. Of course, you still have the people that went to school with Jessie and Joy. So, this is Dr. Stevens. Okay, this is his old office. Now, Dr. Stevens was the doctor. Let's see, we got a little book thing too. Dr. Stevens was the doctor in the 1900s, and half the people that were born in that time would have been delivered by Dr. Stevens. So he is very affectionately remembered. It is said that in that little place, and I didn't do too much on it because I don't know if it's a business now or what, or if it's just like a museum, but they do say that in his old office, he does haunt it. So, yeah. So there's our alleyway again. This is the other end of the alley where the bootlegging took place. We're getting into the old buildings, okay? So we're coming up on the mural. This building right here used to be Price Ringgold Drugs. Now, as you can see, there is an upstairs. Now, of course, these buildings were built back when you would have your business on the downstairs level and your living quarters would be on the upstairs level. So, and as you can see, we have the Dolly mural. It's hard to be a diamond in a rhinestone world. Dolly. Now, for those of you who don't know, and I know I've said it before, if you've ever seen me in chat, our claim to fame is Dolly Parton and her husband Carl, who recently passed away, rest his soul, got married in Ringgold at the Ringgold Wedding Chapel back in the 60s. Well, it was 1966 because there's the date right there. 1966, they were down here and they got married in the wedding chapel. Why did they come to Ringgold? Well, first off, we are the wedding capital of Georgia. Okay, so if you want a quickie wedding and you can't go to Vegas, you go to Ringgold. Dolly has talked about it quite a few times in various interviews. I'm trying to see if Justin is coming yet. I don't think he is. But she has talked about it in various interviews where her managerial team did not think it was a good idea for her to get married. So they took off to Ringgold without anybody's permission nor knowledge. Which I think was great. They eloped down here pretty much, and they got married. Look at that, that's so cute. So we have a lot of businesses now in the old areas, and again, you can see the upstairs, the living quarters. So this is Fern and a Feather General Store. Then you have Edward Jones Investments. Again, these are some old buildings. Original. Fix the outside, make it look pretty. But these are original buildings where shop owners would live. Now, some of them do not have the upstairs living area. Those would have been put up after the other ones, most likely. This is the Spot Creamery. This is our ice cream area. Oh my God, their ice cream is good. They have Hershey's ice cream with all the toppings, whatever you want. This is Aunt Effie's. Now, Aunt Effie's used to be in a different place, but they are a historical restaurant that has been in Ringgold for generations as well. Everybody loves them. Not gonna lie, they're really, 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 really good. Look, this is funny. Voted best burger in town by some guy who likes burgers. They have a really good sense of humor as well. Okay, now this one is old. Now this one did have an upstairs living quarter that was bricked up. Some of them did. Some of them bricked them up. Some of them kept them. Oh God, we got a Christmas tree in this one already. Come on now, it ain't Christmas time. This is Caffeine Addicts, dude. You know this is my favorite place because, yeah, buddy, this is where you get your coffee. I may go here in a little bit. You never know. I may walk back down and get me some coffee. I need some go-go juice today. So we may end up back here, y'all. A couple years ago during Halloween, they had the best vampire latte, which was a red velvet cake inspired latte. Oh my God, it was great. Now I have it this year. This is our Ringgold Gallery. You have all your artwork, local artists, things like that. It's wonderful. It's also a frame shop. Look at this. Look, you have your little knitting man sitting there. There's your Halloween decoration if you are into knitting or crocheting. Y'all know who I'm talking to. Crafty, Lydia, Antics. My little knitting bees. Okay. And as you can see, a lot of these places have been updated. Here's a antique store. What's a mantique store? Trestle-side antiques. These are great people. I remember, you know, coming in and visiting them quite a bit. So you have Trestle-side antiques. Eclectic Ambers Emporium. Okay, this one is new. This one is new to me. I've never seen this, but I'm seeing antiques. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say we are a little bit of everything. Here's Shabby Chic Boutique. Now this place has some really cute clothes. My only problem is they don't cater to bigger gals like me. I'm not in the plus size, but I'm also not a medium, babe. We'll just put it that way. Not in plus size, but also not a medium. And my thing is, too, I'm tall, so anything below large or extra large is going to be too short on me. Anyway. Okay, this is, we talk about pizza. We talk about Raphael's Pizza. This is it, y'all. This is that pizza that I absolutely adore. Don't judge me. I know I'm not supposed to have pizza. I know I'm diabetic. I'm fully aware that I am diabetic. This is the old electric company. I don't know what it served at as before. I always knew it as Georgia Power. So I think right now it's just office buildings, but that used to be our Georgia Power Company. And as you can see, we are right back at the depot, y'all. So we just made one big old circle.